Hello and welcome back to today's episode of Date in a Blink, where we're hosting Daniella and Kingston for a Blink date.
What is Date in a Blink, you ask? It's a 10-minute audio-only blind speed date experience. It's also a bit of a social experiment designed to move people beyond looks-based assumptions, curated profiles, and marathon messaging.
We at the Blink Date want dating to be fun and inspiring for Blinkers and hope this podcast inspires you to try new ways of meeting people and dating. Will our hand-picked matches find love on these Blink dates? Or will they say goodbye to each other after 10 minutes and never look back?
If you're new here, we're so happy you could join us. If you're a regular, we're so glad you've returned. Before we jump into today's Blink date, here's a quick word from our sponsors. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain a bit. It's totally free, and Anchor will distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and lots of other podcasting platforms. Not only that, but it has creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. It also lets you make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make your podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
We're here on Date in a Blink today with Daniella and Kingston. I'm going to let you two dive in, but in case it's helpful to get the conversation started, I'm going to leave you with this question. What is your favorite type of party or celebration to attend?
Ooh.
That's a good one.
So this for me just happened. I am that girl that loves her birthday. I know that's like so stereotypical, but for real, like I love birthdays because for me, like I have so many different sects of my life, like my career, like I have my friends and then I have my family and just people from different parts of my lives. And like, that's like the only time that all of these people would get together because of like my birthday, and they would never meet in like normal life unless it was like for me. So I love like having that kind of like little ecosystem at like one place with like everyone I love. I know it's very lame, but I love birthdays. What about you?
I don't think that's lame at all. I mean, so do you specifically like just your birthday or just birthdays in general?
I like my birthday, but I love other people's birthdays more, I think.
Right.
My love language, or how I show my love, I guess, is acts of service. And so I love like going all out for like, friends and my family. And so like I love like surprising them or just like making them feel really special. Like to me, like that's like one of the most gratifying things ever. So I think birthdays in general for me are like a big deal, but unfortunately all of my friends that are close to me are like, ugh, like we do not. I was like, how did I end up in a group of friends that do not care about their birthdays?
So you basically have to pull out all the stops for every single one of them?
Oh, 100%. I'm like, I'm going to make you feel special. You better feel special.
Now, do they reciprocate at least? Or are you not much of a surprise person?
They try. My biggest thing is like, I definitely like to get creative. I just love birthdays so much, and I just love surprising my friends so much, or my family members, my loved ones, that it's sometimes kind of hard for them to kind of reciprocate because they just don't necessarily understand the big hoopla about birthdays.
Right.
So I don't know. Like my birthday just was last Saturday, so it was like
happy belated.
Oh, thank you. So it was kind of interesting to see because I was the last birthday from all of my friends, or I guess, yeah, all my friends are like previous year, I guess, of 2020. So like we had experienced it already. So it was the first one of 2021. And so, yeah, it was interesting, but it was fun. But how about you? What kind of celebrations do you?
Oh, man. So me personally, I am not much of a birthday person. I enjoy going to other people's birthdays just, for the whole reason of being able to see people.
Sure.
But my own is, it's just another day for me. I would say I personally enjoy housewarmings. If only because, oh God, that's such an adult thing to say, isn't it? Because I like, I'm at an age where, people are starting to move in with their significant others or get married or, see, start house hunting and stuff. So like, as opposed to going over to, a college friend's dorm or something, I'm actually going over and seeing someone's house and seeing their yard and, seeing all the little things that they do to, make the place at home, get to play with their dogs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's actually the only reason why I like it, but
oh yeah, I'm all about a dog thing.
but like, obviously nowadays that isn't happening as much.
Sure.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Future listeners, we're still in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah, if for whatever happens to eradicate.
Yeah. And, otherwise, I would say I really like the sort of spontaneous or sporadic just get-togethers. I think one time in college, we just had, a couple of friends over, and then a couple of friends invited a couple of more friends, and soon enough we had like about 15 to 20 people, and we weren't even drinking. We were just hanging out in our apartment, and it just happened to be St. Patrick's Day, and none of us really went out to bars or anything. We were just playing Dropkick Murphys all night and like just smoking cigars and just running around having a wild time, just completely sober. And it was like one of the weirdest things to me because I lived in a frat house. So that was kind of unusual, I suppose. And it was just a very organic and very like unscripted night, I guess. And we had the cops called on us, and they thought that we were completely wasted, but we're just like, no, we're just having a good time. We'll quiet down. Sorry to the neighbors, but just doing our thing.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I think I agree with that too. Like some of the best times that I think I've had where it's just like a fun game night, like with my friends. Like
right.
There might be wine involved, but like for the most part, it's like fairly low key. Like the goal isn't to get like plastered, right? Like the goal is to like have fun and just enjoy like the moment with the people that's like in front of you, which is like so rare. And I think the only time it's really been able to happen is like because of the pandemic, at least like for like my really close friends, like
right.
it's or like my family members. So that's like some of the best memories I have, at least from this pandemic, is just those random game nights or the times where we all just kind of sat down and like actually got to talk to each other and like looked at each other in the eye and just like laughed.
Yeah, especially because, I would say back in 2019, it was kind of a hard sell to just be like, hey guys, you guys want to sit around and talk to each other for a bit? And it's like, that sounds fun, but I'd rather be doing this other thing.
Right. Yeah, that's
what board games have you been playing?
Oh, okay. So we played Scrabble when my parents were in town not too long ago. That was fun. We like did teams because there was too many of us. There's this card game that my roommate, so I had one of my best friends move in with me. He was getting a divorce and his grandma had just passed, so he's going through a hard time and was like not happy where he was living. So I said, hey, like I have an extra room, like come live with me, like let's make this work. So he introduced me to this card game that his grandma had, and it was like his grandma had passed and it was her old deck, so it's like very special to him, so we only play with that deck. And so we played this card game. I don't know if you've ever heard of Skippo, but it's like,
never heard of it.
It's so fun. I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's not like Uno, where it's like you have to add up all these numbers and it's really complicated. You just have to like play it. But it's actually not that complicated. As long as you know how to like add up to 12, you're fine. But like,
okay.
It was just such a nice sentiment because it's like his grandma's deck and I've met her a couple times before she passed, and it was just like something that was special, and we all just got to like giggle and laugh and like look at each other in the faces, and like, it's a strategic game too, so you kind of get to like, kind of
get to screw people over.
Yeah, exactly. in like a fun little card game way, I guess.
Yeah. Now, so like, was this something that he played with his grandma, or was he also learning for the first? Okay.
Yeah. So he played with her.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, it was such a sweet moment, and I, obviously, I'm sad that she's not on this earth anymore, but it was like a nice thing that's kind of brought my whole household together because he lives with me and then my sister lives with me, so all three of us get to play together, and if we have any friends come over, it's pretty nice. What kind of games do you like to play?
Oh man, so in terms of board games, I mean, because of the pandemic, we've been playing a lot of like Jackbox and all the online ones.
Jackbox is the
best. But in person, oh man, there's this game called Lords of Waterdeep, and it is exactly as nerdy as it sounds because it's based on like Dungeons and Dragons universe.
Oh gosh, okay.
But like it's not as complicated.
Okay. That's what loses me. Like the cold it just gets too much. So I'm like,
yeah. And I mean, I totally get that. Like I enjoy Cards Against Humanity and all the other party games.
Sure.
But then like, some of the games, it's like, yeah, you know what? I guess I do want to spend 3 hours playing this board game.
Wow, 3 hours.
Yeah, that's an exaggeration, but there are some that I have played that are basically an entire night, and we bust it out maybe like once a year because it's such a time commitment. But we've been playing other party games like Cards Against Humanity, Apples to Apples. All the. Have you ever heard of like One Night Ultimate Werewolf?
No. What is that?
it's a card game of sorts, and basically like up to I think 12 people can play, and they all take a certain role, and 2 people are kind of like werewolves, and they murder townspeople.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so then like it's basically one of those social deduction games where it's like, oh, who did it, and how do you defend yourself, and what can you say to maybe screw over someone else, stuff like that.
At this point in the date, I jumped in to let them know that their date had ended and let them say their farewells. After listening to Daniella and Kingston's date, all I could think to myself was, Skippo, Lords of Waterdeep, birthday celebrations, and housewarmings? Don't threaten me with a good time. So many people can think a good time must involve boozing, loud music, and questionable decisions. It's great to be reminded that often the best times come when we least expect it. Do you think Daniella and Kingston will keep the conversation going over a game night? Tune in to the end of the season to find out. That's all we've got for you today. Shoot us a message on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at The Blink Date or at Date in a Blink to let us know what you think. If you want to sign up to participate in Date in a Blink, visit our website at www.theblinkdate.com. In the meantime, thanks for joining for this episode. We hope you enjoyed listening and look forward to talking with you again next time.